because I couldn't find a cognate. My program also requires us to complete 6, so I took during my first year. In year 3, we have to complete a qualifying examination and write and defend. What's up guys, it's Ivan. I'm a third-year doctoral student at the University of California, San Diego, where I study college access and equity. And in this video, I wanted to share with you the key degree benchmarks that I have to complete in order for me to attain a PhD in education. Let's start off by looking at the mission of the program to see what students should be able to do once they complete the degree. So on the website they state, our signature pedagogy is problem immersion. We ask students to read, research, and learn theories and methodologies in the service of understanding existing real-world education situations and contexts. So really what this program is designed to do is for you to use the knowledge that you gain, so research, methods, theory, and apply that to real-world situations. So a lot of my colleagues and I want to either become faculty, so we're going to be conducting research studies throughout our career, and obviously teaching. Some of us want to go into administration or work at research centers. So the mission of this program is for you to apply the theory, the methods to a practice, whether that's teaching, whether that's research, whether that's administration. Typically during year 1 and 2 of a PhD program, most programs require students to complete some type of coursework. My program requires us to complete 2 years of coursework, and that could vary. Sometimes students don't complete it in 2 years, but generally speaking, they want us to complete coursework in 2 years. That coursework entails a bunch of different things. So for example, during year 1, you're required to complete a transforming education series, a series of courses that are around the topic of transforming something. So I took during my first year transforming inequities and student outcomes, transforming learning environments, as well as transforming educational systems and policy. And these transforming foundational courses are taken with your cohort of students that came in with you during the year that you got into. My program also requires us to complete 6 research design and methodology courses. So I completed 2 courses, one introduction and one advanced in qualitative methods, and the same thing for quantitative methods. So one introduction, one advanced quantitative methodology, and the last 2 methodologies we can choose based on what we want to do in the future. So for example, I wanted to learn more about mixed methods, so I took mixed methods research and design, and I also took this one random course on discourse analysis, which is not really in line with what I want to do with my research dissertation and just my career, but it was an interesting course to take and look at just research in a different lens, in a discourse analysis lens. So I took that to meet the requirement for my 6 research design and methodology courses. Next, they want us to complete more content specific electives, and these are just kind of like a range. You can choose whatever you want. This should be in consultation with your advisor, and it should relate to something that you want to specialize in. But given the fact that my program doesn't offer a lot of courses, it was very limited for me, so I kind of just chose what was available. So I chose to take a couple of higher education courses because that is my interest and what I want to do in the future. Unfortunately, they didn't have any community college specific courses, which is my specialty, but they did have one on higher education systems in the United States, which I took, as well as an equity and higher education course that I also took to meet my requirements for contact electives. My program also is very interdisciplinary, and so that means that we have to take 2 courses outside of a department, and I chose to take one course in the School of Global Policy and Strategy, which was nonprofit management. I am entering my 3rd year of the PhD program. However, I haven't completed my coursework in the 2 years because I couldn't find a cognate or a course outside of my department during the first 2 years. So I'm choosing to just wait a little bit, see what becomes available in the next year, and then take the final course for my program next year. And I'm thinking of taking it in the Global Policy and Strategy department again. My program is unique in the sense that we have to take these things called RAC, which stands for Research Apprenticeship Courses, and we have to take RACs every quarter until we graduate. So we take one in the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, and we have 3 quarters because we run on the quarter system, and we take these RAC courses with our advisors. So our advisors, they hold either bi-weekly, weekly, monthly meetings where you discuss research topics, you discuss the job market, you discuss whatever your advisor wants to discuss during that session. These RACs vary from advisor to advisor, from cohort to cohort. Everybody in my RAC identifies identifies as Latino or Latinx or Latina, and so a lot of our discussions surround topics. So Latinos, Latinas, Latinx people, students in higher education. Everybody in my rack is also focused on higher education issues, and so we discuss that and we talk about our research, conferences, whatever it is, specifically how to advance the success of Latino, Latina, Latinx people in higher education. That's really what our rack is focused on. My program also requires us to take a communications research course, and these are two courses, one you take in your second year and then one you take in your fourth year. So really in this course you just discuss how to communicate your research to different audiences, and you learn about different techniques as well as different modes of writing. So for example, like writing op-eds, obviously a lot of us write research articles or essays. We learn about different ways you can disseminate your research to different audiences and in different styles and different modes of communication, right? So that's really the purpose of this course, and you take one again in the second year and the fourth year. Another unique thing about my program is that after the first year, you are required to present a first year portfolio and a poster, and so you submit a first year portfolio that includes one assignment from every one of your first year courses, as well as a poster that kind of talks about your reflection on your first year, and that's kind of like held in a symposium. For me, I did it online because we were in the COVID situation, and so we did an online symposium. That's what you should expect to do in your first and second year. It's really more focused on learning the theories, methodologies, gaining that knowledge through coursework. In year 3, we have to complete a qualifying examination. And for us here at the University of California, San Diego in the PhD in Education program, we have to complete a systematic literature review on any topic that interests you. This should be worked at with your advisor, so you discuss the topic, the research questions, and how to tackle a systematic literature review, and then you write this review. This review should be of a publishable caliber, which means that you should be able to publish it once you pass. So you have all of year 3 to complete this qualifying exam, this systematic literature review, and then you submit it to a committee of people in your department, faculty in your department. So 3 EDS faculty members will review your publishable manuscript of your systematic literature review, and they will decide if you pass, if you need to pass with revisions, or if you don't pass and you get kicked out of the program. That happens, they review it and they give it back to you, and then once you complete that milestone, then you should work towards publishing that systematic literature review. So the reason why they're asking us to write a systematic literature review is to assess the student's ability to work in a scholarly and professional way with substantive knowledge in their area of interest. So they really want to know, do we really understand what we learned in our coursework, and can we apply it to our area of interest? Because at the end of the day, they're trying to build us as scholars, as researchers, as professors, as teachers, as administrators, and in order for you to be a well-known scholar in your field, you have to publish. They're preparing us to publish articles in our field, and they want to make sure that you are ready to take that next step of conducting a dissertation. In year 4, you are expected to build your committee, your dissertation committee, and write and defend your dissertation proposal. Your committee should consist of 5 faculty. One of those faculty has to be someone outside of the Department of Education. You're also allowed to have members of your committee be from outside the institution, but you have to get permission for that. So make sure that you consult with the faculty and staff on your campus and your department. The interesting thing about my program is that they kind of give you a little timeline of when you should be doing these type of milestones. So for this milestone, even though I said it's year 4, you can do it between year 3 and year 4. It just depends on how fast you are with completing your qualifying exam as well as writing your proposal. But that's kind of the time frame for me. I'm thinking of completing my proposal either in the summer after year 3 or at the beginning of year 4, so in the fall quarter. That way I can defend sometime in the winter or the summer. Really what the dissertation proposal is a action plan. It's an action plan for you to conduct a rigorous research study, which is your dissertation. So you're telling the committee, here's what I want to do in terms of my dissertation, and here's how I plan to complete it. Here are the action steps. My program requires your dissertation proposal to include a couple of elements. So those elements are an abstract, introduction, statement of the problem, research questions, theoretical framework, review of the literature, and research design and methodology. So you have to include all these elements in your written proposal, and then you have to defend that proposal, speaking about those elements and how you hope to complete your dissertation based on this proposal. In the final year of the program, so year 5, that's when you conduct your research and then defend your dissertation and submit obviously your manuscript for your dissertation. So the website states, students will work with their dissertation advisor and other faculty committee members to complete their dissertation research and writing. Students have year 4 and 5 to complete this benchmark. The dissertation is a culminating project that reflects the student's academic scholarship. The project is designed in consultation with the dissertation chair and committee. There are 2 types of dissertation. So one of the types is a 5-chapter book-style dissertation, and then the other type that you can do is an article-style dissertation. At this point in my career, I don't really know what that entails because I haven't done too much research or asked about it because I'm not at that point. Right now I'm worrying about the qualifying exam. But once I get to that step, maybe I'll make other videos in terms of describing my process towards the dissertation and writing the dissertation. But at this point, I don't know that much about it. I just know that there's 2 types that my program suggests that we choose from. So the final benchmark that you have to complete in order for you to attain a PhD in education from the University of California, San Diego is your oral defense of your dissertation. And really what this is you're kind of talking about your research in like a conference style to your committee and other members of the community, other members of the department, other members outside of the department, whatever it is. You defend your dissertation, you speak about it, you speak about your results, what you did, what are the implications, etc. And then after that, they'll do like a little Q&A session asking you questions. And then once that's over, the committee will go into a separate room and they'll discuss the oral defense, and then they'll decide if you pass or you don't pass. Alright guys, so that concludes my video on sharing with you the benchmarks that I have to complete in order for me to attain a PhD in education from the University of California, San Diego. I wanted to share these benchmarks because I want you to understand what it takes to get a PhD in education and the different milestones that you need to complete in order for you to attain that great accomplishment. So if you are an incoming PhD student or you're thinking about applying for PhD programs and obviously going through a program, I want you to go on the website and figure out what are the key milestones that I have to complete in order for me to attain that degree, and then reflect on those benchmarks and see how you are best prepared to complete all those benchmarks if you are a prospective student or you're entering a PhD program. I know I would have wished I would have known all these benchmarks prior to me applying for a PhD because it would give me a better idea of what I'm getting myself into, even though I did hear the word dissertation tossed around in the different communities I was a part of, but no one really told me what that entailed. So I'm hoping that these videos do help you out in terms of me explaining how to get a PhD program and kind of showing you through my experience what those steps look like and how you can overcome those challenges if there are any to meeting those benchmarks and then eventually getting that PhD. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.